Why did you become an attorney?
Welcome to this next episode of the 6-Minute Obsession with the host of your show, Mr. Robert Graff, Attorney Robert Graff. My name is Dr. Mark Kosman. Rob, what are we talking about? Why, of course you became an attorney. You must know, right?
A lot of times we know why we became an attorney, but the deeper issue. We say, for example, our parents made us go. But this is really looking at the deeper issue of why you became an attorney, why you went to school, and why you stuck with it.
Actually, it's a great topic. Why is such a powerful thing, but specifically, what are we going to cover now?
We're going to cover specifically what you were focusing on prior to when you went to law school, what was in your mind, why you decided to go through 3 years of school, take a bar exam, get a job, reconnecting with the friends that you had beforehand, and really finding that reason, that value in yourself that made you want to become an attorney.
Excellent. Okay. Well, let's dig into why. So, there's probably a lot of reasons why people become an attorney, but once you're in it and up to your nose in billable hours or trying to get those billable hours, you may have forgotten all about that. So, why do you think people should talk to the friends that they had prior to going to law school to start getting in touch with this why question?
Well, simply because they knew you better back then. They knew what your hopes, what your dreams were for what law school looked like. Nobody went to their friends and said, hey, I'm going to go to law school because I really want to bill some hours.
Okay.
No. Or I can't wait to take the bar exam. Those weren't things people said. So what were they like beforehand, before we learned how to, quote unquote, think like a lawyer, before law school jaded us with all the different classes and all the different opinions that we had to read? What was the main reason behind it?
Mm-hmm.
And by figuring that out, by connecting with those friends, by answering these questions for ourselves, we can figure out how to start leading a practice that we want to have. Regardless of what area it's in, we can have that practice we want to have. And that's where the focus becomes over the hours.
Okay. So the friends you had prior to going to law school, they're the ones that can really help you get back in touch with the passions that got you thinking about going down this career path to begin with, before you hit law school, and certainly before you hit the billable hour grind that is why we call this the 6-Minute Obsession, right?
Yeah, I get told by my wife that I was less cynical before I went to law school.
Go figure, right?
Yeah, I know. I guess, but I question less. When I started to question more and see every single angle and every single liability that could come up, it became more cynical. I'm always thinking of those things along the way. So it's really about reconnecting with that reason. It took me, and it's not going to be overnight, and it might not even be the friends that can help you, but it's a start. And for me, I figured I wanted to help people by looking back at careers I wanted to have in the past. I always used to say, well, my mom made me go because she thought I would.
My mom made me do it, right?
I wouldn't earn any salary by becoming a teacher, so I should become a lawyer. No offense to teachers. But it was my decision in the end. And by realizing it was my choice, then I had to see, well, why was it my choice? What did I hope to gain from it? And so the two things were, I wanted to have fun because my time spent in a prosecutor or a DA's office, I had fun working there. And I wanted to help people. Those are my two reasons. And by reconnecting with those reasons, I was able to look beyond the billable hours and really find a way to enjoy the practice that I have now based on what I had before.
And I guess that's part of why you're saying then, think about who you were prior to going to law school. I mean, so that sounds like a pretty good strategy as well for getting in touch with that why kind of thought process. I mean, so what do you recommend people do with that?
Well, what I really think is that we all become, well, let me take a step back. We all become jaded by the views we have. If we're wearing sunglasses, it doesn't matter whether it's bright out, it doesn't matter whether it's cloudy out, it's always going to be a shade darker. So it's about taking off those sunglasses and seeing the world for what it is and opening up our mind to the views that we had beforehand. So it's really by focusing on who we are beforehand, before this whole law experience, before all the good times, the bad times, the so-so times, the exams, everything that we had in law. What was that reason? Why did you even go take the LSAT? What was the reason behind that? By figuring out all those steps along the way, that's reaching your true who, the who you are. And by knowing who you are, then you can be your authentic self and move forward from there as yourself, connected with your values, understanding that, hey, this is a great thing that you're doing.
Excellent. Well, yeah, and I got to imagine that a lot of people, I mean, there's probably a million reasons why people end up going to law school. I had to pick a major, so I had to do something. But when you get down to it, I mean, I think it's got to be about wanting to change things or have influence or have an impact, right? I mean, because that's a profession that opens doors to those kind of things, at least theoretically, right?
Well, that's one of the reasons. People want to go and they want to help, or they want to change policy, or they want to, who knows why they want it. But some want to do it for intellectual reasons. They like to do research. They like to do writing. They like learning new things. And along the lines of influencing, they like the idea of being able to change law. Some people really enjoy their clerking experience because they're able to look at the facts and really get everything together and make a decision and shape law the way, and shape law or shape people's lives based on the decision that's made. So focusing on that is the real reason why they went to law school. And a lot of times people get away from that when they're sitting behind a desk every day, more worried about the hours than doing that research and writing. But that's a perfect example. Let's say they're sitting behind a desk and they're focused on the research and writing rather than the hours. They're going to have fun again because it's not about the hours anymore. It's about why they actually went to law school. It's about that intellectual pursuit. It's
pretty hard to get passionate about billable hours, right? Other than feeling passionate that, oh boy, I'm in trouble if I don't get my billable hours. But yeah, the passion comes from the why. So good strategies here. So you've talked about getting in touch with friends you had prior to law school. You've talked about getting back in touch with who you really were before you went to law school, and then you also recommend then that people get in touch with the people the friends you had in law school, right? So let's talk about that. How does that help?
Well, they're part of the transition. They're part of the transition of who you are. If you're focused on who you were beforehand, then as you transitioned, what changed while you were there? Did you take a class that you really liked and all you could talk about was, boy, I love taking wills and estates. This is the path I wanted to take. And then you're connecting yourself. Because, as I said, we change over time. Using the glasses example, different shades of glasses have different levels of darkness that you're gonna see the world with. So as you go forward, you see that transition. We're never in a steady state. We're always on that journey moving forward. So the friends that you had in law school are also going to know who you were when you were deciding to make that career path, when you decided to accept that job at firm X over firm Y, when you decided to take the job at a firm that wasn't as good because they were offering a practice area that you wanted to work in. Why did you do that? And they'll know that person and be able to take a more objective view than you can sometimes take of yourself.
Well, what I like about what you've laid out here today in this piece here is that you're getting in touch with why, which obviously is where people's passion really comes from, is why you're doing what you're doing, and you're helping people get in touch with that why, both by looking within and by getting some outside feedback from friends, family, people who knew you before you were even on the law school track, people who knew you, while you were in that process of becoming an attorney or getting ready to launch your actual career. Should people stay away from the people they actually work with because they're all just as jaded as you are? What do you think?
Hey, everybody's different. Sometimes they are a part of the path as well. They could have shaped who you are and why you're doing what you do, or why you actually don't want to do what you do anymore.
Right. So you might have some role models of what not to do in your immediate environment.
but that depends on the person, how close you are to that person.
Sure. Absolutely.
I would hope there's somebody at work that is your mentor that you can go and speak with.
Mm-hmm. And that they are in touch with why they are passionate, hopefully still about the legal profession. So
exactly.
Well, so Rob, you're a practicing attorney, obviously, but that's really not the conversation we're having today. I mean, that's the background that gives you the reason for having these conversations. But you're on a mission. You're a man on a mission here. You're kind of trying to get some pain relief for your legal colleagues by having these conversations that we're having. So tell me a little bit about the coaching work that you're doing. I mean, what's that all about, and why is an attorney becoming a coach?
It's really because I saw a need. I saw for myself a need. Why am I doing what I'm doing? There's got to be a better way. And what I'm doing, and after doing some searching, I realized my goal was to help people. And that's how my legal practice is enjoyable, but it's also to help other attorneys that are struggling every day to say, hey, there's got to be a better way. I don't like what I'm doing. Why am I doing this? And so it's really about focusing them and helping them find that path, whether it's in the legal field or out of the legal field, to become more successful in being themselves and doing what they want to do.
Mm-hmm. So if someone's interested in pursuing this a little bit more and learning a little bit more, obviously you have a pretty darn generous offer here in general, which is that you're always available for a free consultation, right? So that's that's one starting point. I'm really going to encourage people to get on your mailing list by putting their name and email address underneath here. If you're at graffstandard.com here watching this episode, and if you're not, if you're watching it on YouTube, come on over to graffstandard.com. Now, Rob, you often use a tool as well in your coaching work, and I want to tell people a little bit about that. It's called the Energy Leadership Index. What is that?
It's an assessment that determines your current level of success, your current level of consciousness, and your current level of being, and it's a snapshot into who you are at this time. And as you review it, it becomes better, or it becomes a blueprint to move you to more success and to move you to a different snapshot where you have more success and you have higher levels of energy because you've shifted towards those higher levels of energy.
Excellent. Okay, so if in addition to a free consultation, if people are interested in learning more about that, all you got to do is get on Rob's email mailing list. Right below here at graffstandard.com is a place for you to put your name and email address in. You'll not only get information about these episodes of 6 Minute Obsession, you'll get Rob's contact information, but you'll also get access to some information about the Energy Leadership Index, which other people charge over $400 to do. Rob does not do that. He is a very generous guy. So find out what the special offer is that he has for you just by signing up right below here at graffstandard.com. Get on the mailing list. You'll get all the details. So until next time, Rob, we'll see people for another episode of the 6 Minute Obsession and give them another little bit of pain relief for the legal profession.
Yep. Have a great one.